Hey, what it do, my people? We back again with the big homie CC talking about aliens and UFOs and Bigfoot and crazy stuff like that. Let's see what he talking about though, for sure.
In the United Arab Emirates, they have laws against using jinn. They have laws against channeling entities. You can get lashes, it's punishable by death, and it's like a 50K fine if you get caught. Thousands of cases when people are experiencing an abduction experience, if they call out for Jesus, it stops. They brought this up to the MUFON director, and he says, so well. Aliens don't like Jesus.
You call out for Jesus, the aliens stop messing with you.
I was just at Embu, and I'm seeing people in their 90s, 100 years old, walking up and down the street. And one of them said because they eat the natural diet off the land. They made an exact replica of the ark, complete replica down to the exact dimensions, made out of gold, silver, the whole 9 yards. Guess where it was at? My lab. Why is it there?
Off the Grid podcast, all the way from the 254 we're shooting in Kenya. We got the big homie CC. How you doing, brother?
Yes, sir. Doing good. We're doing a real off the grid episode.
Off the grid,
yes,
the grid, for real.
For real. Absolutely.
Welcome back to Every Time Studios, man.
Good to see you.
Looking good.
It's a pleasure. I see you. I see you fly.
Hey.
Little something.
Yeah. I've been working out. I can see a difference, man.
Yeah. I've been grinding a lot. I was at the gym before this. Yeah. I still got that post gym sweat going.
So what's new, man? What's cracking, man?
Oh man, it's a lot cracking, man. I've been this going on month 3. I've been enjoying Kenya a lot. Yeah.
I see your Instagram. Like, this guy's living it up.
Yeah, I'm getting the true experience. I was out in Embu yesterday. I done traveled around. I got to see some real cultural things that made a lot of things make sense for me based on how I grew up. From just a lot of stuff, because my grandmother had certain ways about her, and I went to the villages and I seen, this is where it come from. So yeah, that's been good. And just working. My phone buzzing right now. Somebody trying to call me for something.
But what I like about your stories, it's very holistic. It's not just like turn up. There's travel, there's investment, there's business, there's exploration. So it's quite a holistic. You seem to be actually enjoying the real spoils of what Africa has to offer, man.
Well, 100%.
Hey, I don't mean to cut this off, but I was telling y'all about the story about my mother, what she seen when I was a kid in Pensacola, Florida. This was like 72, it was in the 70s. I say 72, between 70 and 72. Mom was in the kitchen washing dishes. Behind our house in the back ain't nothing but woods. Mom's washing dishes in the kitchen, and she said this lady jumps in the window. This is a lady with a dog body, had blonde hair and a white face. Mom said she was a pretty lady, had long blonde hair and jumped in the window. Mom said she started screaming and shit, She told me this story, me, my brothers, and my cousins, all our life, and my mom ain't no type of person that tell fibs, you know what I'm saying? But in that same house, I seen some shit too, I told y'all. But yeah, I'm just telling you, just letting y'all know there's a lot of crazy stuff in this world, man. That's real. But back to CC.
No, because whatever people call me for, if they provide certain evidence, I go out and investigate.
Yeah.
I asked some people some questions when I was in Embu, and they started telling me about something. Have you ever heard of something called the Agagwe?
Agagwe, no.
Agagwe, okay. So in America, people have called me. You ever heard of Bigfoot?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so people have called me about this particular being on several occasions. And I travel to Clackamas County, Portland, Oregon, all the time. That's why I go investigate. I got connections there. It just seems like on every continent there's a story about a bipedal being operates as family groups, completely hairy, 9 feet tall, territorial operating family groups. But here, they got something called the Agagwe. The Agagwe is about 5 feet tall, long arms, highly athletic, very elusive, and the locals won't let you shoot it or hunt it.
Damn.
So I'm thinking about putting a little team together,
Going Agagwe hunting.
and going to go investigate. I'm not going to say hunting because,
Yeah.
you know, my experience with Sasquatch, that's not a monkey, man. It's not a monkey.
What do you think?
Say
Do you
you
think
want
it's
to
like
put a team together and go
some
investigate.
stage of evolution?
See, if
So
you
the
with it,
Native
I'm with it,
Americans
nigga. Let's do this.
In America, Navajo, the Hopis, different tribes call them the first ones. I believe Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Agagwe
I
are
can go with some beefy heat, nigga. I'm
species
ready.
that evolved alongside us, but were here a lot earlier. Because when you look at Bigfoot, if human beings' DNA was completely
I
untouched,
ain't trying to go knock him down
That's
and
how
nothing
you
but
would have
shit,
to look
nigga.
to
If he
survive
come
on
out
this
nigga
planet.
funny, it's on.
covered in hair, insulated, they spot them in the Himalayan mountains, the Arctic Circle. People have seen them in deserts. How they get there, still up for debate. I've got some information. Certain people could say that they walk through portals or they can transcend time and space. Because they tracked a trackway almost a mile. You can't see where it started and where it ended. It's almost like you just shot up into the sky. They say the same thing about the Agagwe. Now, there are some locals told me that sometimes you can see them mingling with baboons or chasing them away. That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
So I'm delving down into that path right now because I feel like the keys to our existence here is to understand what these other creatures are, where they come from.
But you said something very interesting there when you said you suspect that they evolved alongside us.
For sure.
So that insinuates that you feel human beings, someone tampered with our evolution?
Absolutely.
Anunnaki?
So here's the thing with that, right? There are several different interpretations of the Sumerian tablets, where the Anunnaki stories come from. The issue is, 100,000 years ago, something happened. Homo sapiens sapien was able to outcompete Denisovans, Neanderthals, and other evolving species that were all bigger than us, stronger than us, more capable than us. Somehow we were able to outcompete them. Then when you look at it even closer, our DNA all carries something called an allele or alleles, which show and derive our pigment. Now, our DNA goes back a long time. The white human's DNA didn't show up until about 7,000 years ago in around the Scandinavian area. Why is that?
I saw that recently. In fact, Godfrey, put Godfrey on the screen, he was talking about that. And I was shocked that.
Hey, I want to ask y'all a question. So how many people do believe in Bigfoot? I mean, I do, because, Planet of the Apes, where did they come up with that one from? Come on now. I mean, how you gonna make a picture of monkeys like that? Come on now, different type of monkeys and just talking and walk. Come on, man. Yeah, man, I really believe in this shit, man. Tell me what y'all think. Let me know what a show.
Such a huge gap between the original black man and the first Caucasian.
Huge gap. And it's not suspicious to nobody that this particular group seems to have a heightened sense of urgency. They can organize themselves a lot better than everybody else. And these are the only ones that want to go everywhere and grab all the resources.
Conquer.
As if where they came from, things might have been scarce. Because if you from this planet, why is the sun so harmful to you? Nobody talks about these things. So, they had banned abortions in America for a little while.
Roe v. Wade?
Right. They did that because the white human birth rate is on a constant decline. Then you see Bill Gates coming to Kenya trying to sell his 8-year IUD
Contraceptive. So do you think our president sold out there? Because a lot of other African countries rejected it. And Bill Gates, for the longest time here in Kenya, he was meant to transact some business. Was on how to cry because of the whole eugenics conversation. Eugenics, the way he speaks about eugenics is too casual.
Very casual.
Even if there was a case for it, you cannot just play God and talk about eradicating people for the greater good of people.
Facts. Like, the whole theory that the planet is overpopulated, I believe is a lie.
Yeah.
And them saying, they don't want people giving birth into poverty, so we'll give them this 8-year contraceptive. Where'd they test this at? Show the lab human trials.
So much land all around the world.
He was the person who's going to push the vaccine, which has killed more people.
Build more and more shit, man. It's just they don't want to do it.
When I seen the UN setting up here,
crazy,
when I came back from Coast, I seen the UN planes at the airport. Wherever you see the UN, you see that guy.
What do you think is happening with that? Because I feel there's a lot more than meets the eye. Because why would the UN want to set up? There's something special about Kenya. That is well known. There's something unique about this specific part of this piece of earth. I don't know. There's something about Kenya where there's a spiritual superiority of sorts.
Definitely.
Yeah. So when you see guys like the UN setting up, it's never a good sign.
Not for human beings. Because I don't believe everybody is a flesh and blood human being like we are. And from my investigations, everything leads to some type of dark force. And you can never imagine how many secret organizations there are. Every big corporation is a secret organization. And I don't try to scare people. It's just about awareness, because how is it that with all these brilliant minds we have on the planet, human beings can't solve simple problems
like hunger,
like world hunger, poverty? You got big pharma companies who have never cured anybody. They'll give you suntan lotion that gives you cancer, and then sell you the medicine to treat the cancer. How is that cool? Like, how is this being allowed? Why is it that so many things and bills that are passed are so anti-human life?
So last night you used him. Honestly, nothing better than when a guy brings this out.
I seriously can't stop thinking about him.
Hims. Thank you for the best night of my life.
There's this rumor or allegation about talk about big corporations here, and some of the biggest corporations, of course, are fast food. That mathematically it's impossible for them to actually serve that much beef based on demand. So apparently people have taken samples,
right,
and they found human DNA in the food that is being served in fast foods. And Putin, in one of his addresses,
he was the first person to call this out.
Like, America is crazy. They're selling people, they're eating human being,
For sure.
But let's talk about the dark forces you speak of. Is it one singular force or a multitude of darkness? Like, is it like, what do you think that is?
Okay. Now, I researched this a lot in the field, cyber, libraries. I believe that there are several factions of dark forces, some more powerful than others. Because when King James edited the Bible, it was him and 47 other clergymen. They removed the book of Enoch because that's the key to different realms, different intelligences, and if you want to keep control over somebody or a group of people, you remove that. So then you see certain whistleblowers coming out saying they're using Enochian texts to channel different beings. I believe when they used to sell Ouija boards at Walmart as a kid, as a toy for children.
Put a Ouija board on the screen.
They used to sell Ouija boards in stores as a child's toy. All of these beings always want some type of child sacrifice, because if you look into ancient texts, ancient cultures, if they were indeed influenced by non-human intelligences, those non-human intelligences demanded child sacrifice. So it had me think, okay, so what am I really up against here? Because I did research into remote viewing. No.
Tell the viewer what remote viewing is first.
Remote viewing is astral projection. You can have an outer body experience. You can travel to anywhere in the cosmos, basically, mentally. They've proven that this has worked. Declassified CIA documents shown they gave Joe McGonigal coordinates on Mars about 1 million years ago. He saw, documented, large beings inside of a pyramid. They said their planet experienced a cataclysm. Some of them went to a nearby planet to set up colonies. Others said, we had our time. We're going to stay here. And they said they can't figure out how to get out. Get out of what? Well, what can't they get out of? So then it led me down another path. You know, this whole, you ever seen the movie Men in Black?
Of course.
When you seen the alien with the marbles and galaxies?
Yeah.
Okay. Louis Farrakhan had a presentation talking about 15 different wheels on top of this plane. So that's 15 different dimensions.
Damn.
The Rep Luna from U.S. Congress comes out and says, we don't call them aliens, we call them interdimensional beings.
Yeah.
Retired FBI agent John D'Souza, who was in charge of the FBI's X-Files program, he has a book called The Interdimensionals. He had to investigate crop circles, cattle mutilations, UFO sightings, abductions. He investigated this. Anybody watching, you want to get that book, The Extra Dimensionals. Then you see Donald Trump's science chief come out and say, we have technology to manipulate time and space.
He said that on record?
He said that on record. You can pull this up.
But we are capable of so much more. Our technologies permit us to manipulate time and space. They leave distance annihilated, cause things to grow and
Man,
improve.
we got shit
Everything
going
I'm
that we
saying,
don't know nothing
you can pull it
about.
up and
Shit,
you
we
fact
can't
check
even
everything.
imagine.
Now, if Einstein's theory of relativity is true, then time travel is possible.
You have to reach the speed, close to the speed of light.
Right. Now, Elon Musk and his team are working on a time machine now. Did you see that?
I didn't see that.
That's coming.
Like Elon is
If
a
you want to
damn
try to
alien.
combat something, you might want to try to go back to the inception
Yeah, I
when
think
it
that
started.
boy's an alien.
I feel like that's what's going on right now.
Right.
Due to the simple fact that This is crazy right here. There's a company called MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network.
Yeah,
They
I
have a
know about
database
Wolf,
of all type of people who call in. They document every case of abduction, sightings, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Thousands of cases when people are experiencing an abduction experience, if they call out for Jesus, it stops. They brought this up to the MUFON director, and he says, so what? Aliens don't like Jesus. Not a big deal. What? That ain't strange to nobody?
And there's a
Right.
famous Sean Ryan interview where he was interviewed.
That's true. That's great.
And then he asked her about the
Resurrection.
have you ever gone to the crucifixion? And whatever entity lives inside her was tripping.
Didn't want that to come out.
In fact, I'll ask the producer to put that on the screen because
Have you tried to look into religion at all? Such as the crucifixion? Do you have? Do you not want to talk about that?
Yeah, she didn't want you to bring that up.
Okay.
That's wild. That's wild. That's wild,
Trust me,
homie. You
Yeah,
see the
I
look
feel
on her
it.
face?
I was there for a while. But here's what you gotta understand. It's 2026, dude, and there's 322 million men dealing with ED. That's why I switched to Blue Chew Go. It's a 4-in-1 formula.
Shit.
Powerful
I think we
enhancers.
still on the show. Sorry about that, y'all.
she freaked out. And
For sure.
whatever entity that gives her that power inside her at the name of Jesus, like, yo,
Yep. And I'm getting the chills thinking about it because they try to tell you this guy didn't exist. Everybody has a different story about it. It just seems like the first story ever told. All of this, it seems like a real old story. And I feel like the key to it is going to be the history. Because Elon's whole plan to get to Mars was not going to work if the Democrats were still in power. They weren't going to allow it.
is he a good guy or bad guy? I can't tell. I can't put my finger on Elon. I moved from
Elon
space
is a
to space.
weirdo,
This guy
homie.
for the greater good, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I got it.
For sure. Well, you know, I seen him call out Reid Hoffman. He was a billionaire dude who donated a lot to Kamala. Calling him out is dangerous.
All
Calling
the
out Bill Gates
geniuses
dangerous.
is crazy as hell.
He said on
bro,
Joe Rogan,
man,
if he
genius
if he
be
went after
crazy,
more,
man.
They're gonna kill him.
Facts. So for him, if he's telling him to have as many children as possible, he wants a breakaway civilization that is pro-human. That's why he's trying to get to Mars. It's not gonna be no government on Mars. He'll be the forefront of it. I don't know Elon personally, but there's a saying that I always say: big money never comes clean. And
For you to penetrate a certain level, 100% there's some at some point you compromise your integrity.
if you don't, you're going against oligarchs. You know, in Chicago, we say get down or lay down. You feel me? So it's kind of like, it's up to the people to decide who's good based off people's body of work. They keep everything classified.
But let me ask you this, big homie. What is all the, because a lot is coming out, there's an awakening that's happening
For sure.
because of all the information that people have. But what is this Fugazi about? And the Fugazi being, I was telling you on the balcony right when we were talking off camera about how this life work cycle, it doesn't feel like this is what it was meant to be. Like why is this so, why is that part of the story so ingrained? Yet we all feel innately that nah man, this
Don't feel right.
it doesn't feel like that.
Because that's a whistleblower that came out. I think his name was Matthew Brown. And in his whistleblowing speech, he said that most of us are left behind and we are left with one type of science. We think we're free, but we're living in a dream because I was just at Embu and I'm seeing people in their 90s, 100 years old, walking up and down the street. And one of them said because they eat the natural diet off the land. Human beings are a resource here to this planet for different groups. And that's what I feel like people don't want to talk about.
Like, are we being farmed or something?
Definitely.
For our souls? Is it energy or is it souls? When it comes to children, what is it about children? Is it the innocence?
Pure life force. And also with the children thing, it's a organ harvesting situation going on with that as well, because in my business, we know that when female sex workers are getting burned out, they'll put them on a detox. And that's when we get a lot of calls. Oh, they're detoxing me, because they want to clean those organs up before they kill you and harvest them. So, where do we learn this from? You got humans farming other humans, and the Sumerian tablets say that they edited the DNA of already evolving primates for a slave force to mine gold. That's what the tablets say. Now, the Bible, a lot of that comes from the Dead Sea Scrolls. All of that goes back to, all of those stories go back to the Sumerian tablets and the Kemetic sciences and stuff like that. The issue is, when I seen that the United States government ran a program to monitor beings that had hybrid DNA, they following these bloodlines. It always tracked back down to these bloodlines while people feel like they have.
Is it the 13 families?
Right.
The Rockefeller, Orsini, Rothschild.
So you seen Donald Trump said the next generation of, I'm not Trump, Putin said the next generation of Russian babies will not have Rothschild chains on their legs. The one Rothschild dude had 8 heart transplants. Where do you think he getting them hearts from? He had 8 heart transplants before he died.
So someone, David Rockefeller as well, I think had like 3 or 4.
Come on, man.
Like 3 or 4.
The wait list is supposed to be years.
And your priority is supposed to be low when you're gasting past 90.
For sure. For sure.
Because there's younger people who probably will have a longer life. But I want to touch briefly on the interdimensional, because the other day I saw crazy clip. So, you know the Webb telescope?
Yep.
And it's revealing things that it's changing the whole perspective of the origin of this universe. And there's a guy who did an animation depicting just how many possible other like Earth planets exist.
For sure.
And they're in the billions.
Yeah, like the
like billions in terms of able to sustain human life.
Yeah.
In the billions.
And that's why I feel like what we live in,
that's crazy.
is possibly infinite amount of variations of life. Because if there are 15 different dimensions that we live on here on this planet, that means it's the same thing on every planet. Now, I investigated a case where a guy said it was pitch black dark. The sky over his property opened up, and it was daylight in a small section when the sky opened up. He said a large dish-like craft came through, and then the daylight part closed. That's interdimensional travel. That's why they keep saying that. Now, John D'Souza said when he was investigating cattle mutilations, he said
Basically,
these
that
mutilations
we know how to
happened
do
flash,
that.
and it was done on
And they ain't letting us know that
That's
we get
operating
out
outside
like
space
that
and time.
too. There's somebody
And
out
they
here
said some
going
of
around
the
in some crazy
lacerations
different worlds.
Cannot just
my
have
nigga.
some normal blade.
This
that was
travel, this
different
land,
level.
this
took
land.
surgery.
Precision.
Seeing all
The
type of
crazy part though,
crazy
Eric,
shit.
is the animals
I wish
that
I
get
could
the
get down like that though.
process done on them. No other
A
animals
couple
come and
heat.
eat the carcass.
Let me,
No predation to these
me
altered
go.
carcasses.
Shit.
Nature will always tell you the truth. So that
I'll
right
be
there
with that shit.
was key to me because you got wolves, you got coyotes, you got mountain lions, you got bobcats in these areas. That's a free
Scavenge.
700-pound.
Scavenge.
No one's eating it. That should let you know something right there.
So how low, in your estimation, how low is, if we look at society in terms of who controls the world as a pyramid, how low are we in general as a normal working class people? Like how, are we like the bottom of the bottom?
Now,
And second to that question is, where does like a Trump fall in that pyramid? Like if we're here, where is Trump and who's here?
so Trump is going to be at the very top, close to the top, because
With the new Blue Apron, you don't have to subscribe. Get to
Nikola Tesla has solved a lot of time and space technological issues for human beings, but they kept a lot of his work in the dark because it would stop big business and monopolies.
Edison and them.
Now, all of Tesla's files are in the hands of the Trump administration because one of his uncles was in charge of parts of the FBI who went and seized all of Tesla's work. So for him to become in power, they wanted to pass some of these big time contracts for these metamaterials off to their friends and their private businesses. All the disclosure can't really happen because a lot of things happen within private industry. You got Raytheon, you got Lockheed Martin, you got Amendum Corporation. Amendum Corporation has some of these craft in their hangars. Whistleblowers came out and said where they was at. Congressional members show up to get there. Military comes and say we can't show it to you. That should be illegal.
It doesn't make sense in 2025 to be using fossil fuel at any level.
No, it's not. Why we don't have to use fossil fuels? You see what I'm saying? And if you stop that, billionaire, trillionaire guys, they lose their value overnight.
Bush family, Saudis.
They're not gonna allow that.
The Saudis.
So it's got to be. It's like we in an ant farm.
So that's why I keep asking you about Trump. Is he a good guy? Because in recent times, of course, we know what's happening with the lack of release of these files that everyone was waiting with bated breath.
Epstein files.
The Epstein files, and Trump is just acting suspect. And then it comes out that him and Clinton have a rich history. These guys were boys. Like they're boys. For me, my theory is coming across like this guy is covering for his boy. Big time.
Epstein was in jail for these same charges years ago. Trump wrote him in jail. Clinton wrote him in jail. This guy used to have the greatest minds in the world on his island researching anti-gravity. Why kill him now when he's already been to jail for this and they've covered up the list? Why would they have to kill him now? There's no way Epstein is dead. Michael Franzese told me, he said, I was locked up in the exact same cell as Epstein was locked up in. There is no way to hang yourself in that cell. And he was on suicide watch.
24/7.
There was no way to hang himself. That's what they say he hung himself. He had nothing to hang himself with.
So this, you just dropped a bomb. So you're saying you think Epstein is alive somewhere?
For sure.
Chilling. I watched a very chilling interview on
Yeah, that'd be crazy if he is, man.
And Eric Weinstein is, of course, he's one of the
They say the
finest
nigga
minds
got
in the
all
world.
type of evidence on all
And
type of
describing how
motherfuckers.
physics is
Shit.
curtailed.
He used that to
For
get
sure,
up out of
it's
there.
controlled. You will only learn what they allow you to learn.
Absolutely.
And he's
Nigga,
saying
y'all
some
trying to
things
lock
because
me
you
up,
want
nigga? I have all of y'all motherfuckers locked up with me.
Everything about his work.
Everything about his work.
That's the one
Weinstein also
plan.
said that when he was exposing how Google
Nigga somewhere on the
harvesting all
island,
that
another
information
island somewhere.
later on that week, his wife is taking a jog, gets ran over by a car just disappears. Same thing happened to Sergeant Carl Wolf. When he came reaching out to us for protection, he said he showed me the photos of him editing pictures off the moon. It all ties back to the same group of people. All ties back to the same group of people.
Who are these people?
Deep state.
Who's this cabal? And is this cabal human? Is it a collab of some specific human bloodlines interfacing with like people from a foreign dimension, and they come together for mutual benefit?
Yes, that's the best way. This is why I like sitting down with you, because that's the best way to break it down. Simply because everything is a trade-off. You know, we went from the Model T to damn near flying cars in under 100 years.
Mm.
How is that possible? No one still is explaining how FaceTime even works. It's a lot of things they keep hitting. The problem is, declassified docs showed that the CIA ran a program to track humans with hybrid alien DNA in their body. They track these people. These people are part of that private sector of people who control the world, the international bankers. Same thing, bro. It all boils down to this. And whatever entities that they dealing with, you gotta make sacrifices and exchanges for them for whatever. Is it technology? Is it power, information? Same thing over and over.
But there seems to have been a ramp up of in the past like year and a half of information, disinformation. They are pumping so much stuff that all of it seems plausible at the same time, but it's so much and it's so different from the mainstream narrative that we've always thought of what our existence actually is.
They don't want you to know about supernatural beings because they serve them. If you know about it, then you on the same level as them. These beings don't give a fuck. They don't care. You feel me? They look at us all as the same. Other people can probably make a trade and then surpass them. That's what it boils down to. And it's kind of like, there's no way all of these people is flesh and blood human beings like us.
So I pose this question. I've even asked the crew before, like, how in a typical day, okay, going about your day, your business, your hustle, exploration, how many non-human entities do you think we interface with?
See, that's something I think about a lot. I think about this often.
I think we have one in this estate. My theories. There is a guy I suspect he's not a normal guy.
Really?
I kid you not.
What characteristics about him make you categorize him like that?
He's extremely creepy, leaning onto the pervert kind of thing. But me and my wife took action because he had been caught like peeping in the house. He had a
Yeah, that's Big CC, man. I like Big CC when he be talking about his aliens, UFOs, Bigfoot. But yeah, that was a good one, man. We'll check out some more later. But thanks for watching, y'all. Let me know, man, what y'all think of it, and do y'all believe in Bigfoot? All right, everybody have a good one. I'm outie.